Good morning, everybody. Today I would like to talk about a simple scenario that might explain some of the challenges that we are facing on a global scale. And in this case, I'll reference one country and it applies to all the countries. And especially or specifically those that have their own central bank, most of which do, and they have their own currency. They have their own currency, have their own central bank. Now, why is this important? Remember, all the money comes from central bank. Of course, it is authorized by the government of the day. So, money is printed and controlled by the central bank, and it controls money. On the other hand, controls the level of activities and the price levels, also known as inflation or lack thereof. So why is money so important? Because it controls everything that we do. Nothing we do doesn't require money. Everything revolves around money, because everything can be represented in terms of everything has a monetary value. Everything, you name it. And who determines those prices? The forces of market and demand and supply forces, right? So don't get me wrong when I insist how important monetary policy is. And it seems like most countries don't get it right. Why are they missing it out? Because they are stuck in the old philosophy that monetary policy is just one of the by the way functions. No, it is not. It is the main function of government. The government should have very few roles to play in an economy. Monetary policy is the first one. Then the second one will be national and local security. Then the other one will be registration of persons and properties. You see, very few. Then things like adjudication of disputes, right? Through legislation and adjudication of disputes and representing us, against other nations, when we have something in common or we want it to be in common, we need the executive to represent us in terms of because we cannot all go to represent ourselves in all those individual and specific countries, right? So monetary policy is the core. And remember, only the government and banks produce money out of nothing. Out of nothing. And that is why we are so strict on banks and the government. We should be strict on banks and government because they control how expensive or how cheap our work is going to be. We cannot allow them just to produce infinite amount of money. We limit them. We tell them, hey, we increase the level of activities, you increase the quantity of money available to us within the economy. Don't let the economy run dry. But unfortunately, banks and the governments have continued to demonstrate a very good gesture of failure by letting the economy run dry. How? Picture this. Let's say an economy has amount of cash to an extent of like, let's say, $80 million. There's a particular reason why I choose 80. I'll explain it later. We have $80 million, and that's all the cash we have in our economy. If we decided, our politicians sat down and sat down with the defense forces, commander-in-chiefs and security advisors, they decided to buy F-35 jet fighter, modern, flies like a bird, fires. I don't know, it's the most modern jet fighter. It costs $80 million. So what's gonna happen? What's gonna happen is we're gonna get all our cash, put it in the bank, $80 million. We're going to tell central bank, hey, we need $80 million. So, on our side in Kenya, for example, we're going to put in 9.6 billion cash. Done. Tumeweka huko. Tumeweka cash 9.6 billion. Tununue jet moja, sisi tumesota. They just write that check and it's cleared by the clearing house. They say, hey, you no longer have cash reserves in dollars. You have the cash because we put it in the bank. Do you see what just happened to the economy? It's broke. It's dry. We have a brand new jet, but the economy is dry. Doesn't have any cash. What's the impact? Nothing can be done with no cash. That's what we are facing right now. When you hear that the economy doesn't have any cash, right? The economy doesn't have any cash. Cash didn't go anywhere. Nobody else uses cash, Kenya shillings. Only Kenya uses Kenya shillings. Right? Kwelirogo. They use it under special circumstances. Even dollars are used in the United States, but under such special circumstances they're used elsewhere. But specifically, they're designed for that particular economy. So, if that particular country is dry, the only way we can get cash back, right? Since all the cash is held, Kenya shillings are held at the central bank, is to talk to our legislators to have a conversation about what we're gonna do about that cash. Can we bring it back into the economy? And we should be able to do that. But we cannot do it literally. That's what is going to cause inflation. So how we do it, we spend money on infrastructure. We fund education, we fund our police and KDF, we fund our infrastructure, roads. But here's the secret. In this government expenditure, all this money must be spent in the local economy, not buying outside stuff. If anything, technically we can't buy things from outside. We already used our dollars. So we need to spend within our economy. That way we can produce something that we are going to sell for somebody to give us the dollars. I repeat, we must spend money locally The 10 million, the 9.6 billion that we bought the jet. We spend it in the economy. That way we can spark economic activities within our borders. That's how you put money in people's pocket without causing inflation. Put money in people's pockets without causing inflation. Try that magic and see what happens. My name is John Mutungi and I approve this message. Don't forget to like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and visit us on our website. And thank you very much.